Hey, welcome back to our Living Well seminars. We're really fortunate that we have some people that are really caring and really experts, and they really have some great information that we want to share with you. And again, there are all kinds of different topics. We've been talking about mental health, we've been talking about nutrition, we've been talking about grief. Today I'm really excited because we have Dave Sanders here, and Dave is going to talk, he's an educator, and so we're going to talk about school and distance learning, but more about, kind of students and parents and teachers as well. Dave, you've taught for 31 years?
31 here in Oregon, 35 total.
Okay, and you've been teaching what?
I am the band director at Salem Valley Middle School, and that's what I've done all my life, is teaching band.
So we have a lot of respect for Dave around here. I just want to let you know we appreciate you so much, and you're one of the kids' favorite teachers, my kids for sure, and I hear that over and over again. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll just kind of have this conversation, and again, it's really about students and parents and teachers, kind of threefold for me, because that's our concern and heart right now.
Absolutely.
But let's talk a little bit about mental health with all the stuff that's gone on this last couple months. It's been crazy for educators, it's crazy for our kids, our students, and parents, but tell me a little bit about mental health.
Well, I teach an elective class, which the kids choose to go. And for me, I know the students have voiced their opinions on our Google Meet classes several times. They just said, we miss being together physically. And it's not the informal time, it's just in the presence of each other.
Right.
And they're hurting. And they need that encouragement at home, so that switches us into the family idea of where the parents are now the primary educators, helping the kids through their Google assignments and things like that. I'm so thankful for the parents during this time. They have been given a huge responsibility guiding their own children, and the kids are doing their very best. Right. Sometimes the frustrations are showing through the emails that I get saying, I really don't understand this. And it's fine, but communicating through emails and through even Google Meets, it's really hard because sometimes it's hands-on experience that you need, that we don't have that opportunity right now. So that encouragement at home for the parents is really important. Teachers, I was in a mini depression in April just because I miss the kids. Right. I miss the time with families as well. I'm an extrovert. I love to be around people and work with kids, and I lost that opportunity. So I am my own mental health, I just had to say, this is where we are right now, and I have to do the very best. So I found opportunities to get out, to work with kids. Hey, my instrument's not working, great. Do you want to come to my house? You could sit in the driveway and we can work on the instrument or whatever. And parents were very willing to do that. Okay.
So you're very creative. When it comes
try.
to mental health, we have to be, right?
Yes, you have to be.
Okay. And I think the acknowledgement and also, hey, this is what I'm feeling, and to own that, that's great. I also know that parents have a great deal of respect for teachers, maybe more than ever before, because of what's been going on. What kind of comments are you getting from parents?
Most parents are just like you said, are very, it's like, oh my goodness, you guys should be paid a lot more. I didn't realize everything that goes into a day of education with our students. I think the elementary parents are really finding out, they said, wow, there's so many things to teach in the elementary area. In the middle school, it's a fine line between a student accountability as well as a parent encouraging them in responsibility, because that's a tough time in life where the kids want to have that independence, but they also sometimes are not too accountable to their own assignments.
So we're winding down the school year technically,
yes.
But there's going to be distance learning, summer learning. What should be the focus, or what would you counsel for not just parents, but even for the students as well?
Just encourage the kids to find their passions and really look at project-based learning over the summertime.
Explain that a little bit more.
Okay, well, making a raised bed, using their math to do measurements, using their science to actually say, okay, what plants need to go where in the shade or the sun, and what kind of watering do we need to do? Where is the best place for our raised beds? Things that are home-based, but also project-based, where the kids sometimes, I mean, oh, that didn't work. And it's okay to fail. You know, the kids are all concerned about grades, and it's not about failing. It's about, you know, looking at the things that interest them, find their passions, find their interest, and work together as a family.
Okay.
You know, we've gone from, you know, not doing so well in school to, I like being at home. You know, I've had several students that said, I wouldn't mind doing this all the time. And that really surprised me.
Right.
As an extrovert, I'm like, don't you miss school? And they go, I don't miss sometimes the comments I get from other students. I don't miss the stress of so much work to do. I like the more laid back, reflective.
So they also see projects, they get to see a sense of accomplishment
Yes.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to kind of maybe build some wins in there?
Yes. I think over the summertime, to take what we've started through the Google Meets and to just help the kids feel successful, build them up, encourage them.
Sure.
This has been hard on all of us.
Are there resources available during the summer?
You know, we do summer band camps and things like that over at Northwest Band Camp. We've had OSU has camps, U of O has camps. Most of those camps are going virtual.
Oh, okay.
And they're free.
Oh, wow.
And it's great. A lot of our local instructors are also offering free opportunities. We used a really expensive software over this time period of being quarantined, Smart Music, which is really expensive for each student and for the school district. It was offered to us for free.
Oh, wow.
So it was such a blessing. I know the kids aren't thrilled about that program, but it really helped me be able to, they can hear their part being played, they could play along with it, practice with it. Okay. It's a great practice tool.
Great. So if parents have some questions, would they just contact the school, or do they contact the teachers or the district? What's the best way to do that?
All those things.
All those things.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of us have, I know our district office is offering some things. Shaylin Park and Rec is starting to open up now and do some camps and things like that. As well as teachers are getting resources, and we're trying to get those out to the parents as we are getting them from other parents in their community. So it's great.
Now, parents sometimes they got a lot of responsibilities as well, and summer's time, sometimes that free time. Would you still encourage? I mean, do we feel like our students are behind because of the last couple of months, or do we use the summer to make up, or how's that work?
It's really hard to make up some of these standards that we have not been able to teach in the classroom. I think we're all going to be a little bit behind when we start in the fall, in whatever format that might be.
Sure.
I think the biggest encouragement that I can give parents and students over the summertime is to be curious again, to be creative, to be patient with each other, but also just to keep that line of communication open. Some of these kids are really reverting back into their own bedrooms, and they've closed off communication, and that's never good.
Right. That's great advice. One other question was about the opportunity that distance learning has created. What are some of those opportunities that you believe?
Well, the one I mentioned was that some students have really flourished. And we have found that, you know, traditional school as we know it will probably never be the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was a shocker. I was talking to Dr. Joe, our superintendent, and he said, yeah, we're going to be doing most likely a hybrid of online learning as well as in-person learning, but it'll be very different. And when I said project-based learning, that's kind of what we're looking at, is trying to find areas of ownership where the students say, I really am interested in this. Can you help me investigate that? And with the smaller groups of kids that we'll have in school because of the limitations, I think that might be a better opportunity for us.
Okay. Now, I know you're a veteran teacher and you've worked with middle schoolers for a long time, and you've been a great parent. I know your daughters. And so what are some advice you would give to parents on how to kind of encourage their students or encourage their kids maybe to want to learn or to try to deal with some of the obstacles that we've been facing the last couple of months? I'm throwing this at you.
I know. You know, as a parent In the summertime, it was more about, for me, spontaneity, all right? Allowing the kids to possibly set up their schedule. I think schedules are really important over the summertime, and especially as we get closer to coming back in the fall, that we talk about, hey, we need to have a set time where we are looking at, doing something that I need your help, and then also to come back and say, where do your interests lie? Let's read a book together. Let's look, do those projects, travel. I mean, Oregon's a beautiful space, and I just, would encourage you to do local things at this point, because that's where we have, and I mean, we have beautiful spots right here in Newburgh.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, one final question, and that is kind of a summary question. Is there anything else that you think that we should know as parents, as a community? What would you kind of suggest? Or anything else that you want to talk to us? This is your time.
In middle school education, which, I mean, I'm one of those strange people that loves middle school kids. It's such a hard transition time. The kids come in as sixth graders, and they're they're just young. And they leave as eighth graders, ready to go on to high school, and they're young adults. Right. And there's so much growth that occurs in those middle school time. Lots of, I'm not saying those are great times. There's a lot of conflict usually, and in the home life. And just to keep that line of communication open with your student at home, and also to allow the flexibility that they say, hey, you're going to own this and work that way. That's why, I mean, I think the most important things as teachers, allowing the kids to have ownership, to develop, I mean, to be allowed to fail. Right. I know that sounds horrible, but I mean, middle school grades are important, but more important is work ethic. Right. It's more important is establishing that connection with peers, a positive connection. Also, the social growth in middle school is huge, right, where the kids have a hard time, meeting people, and then when they come out, they're, not social experts by any means, but they're not as awkward as they were. Right. So.
Well, Dave, great advice, great pointers. Thank you again for everything you've done over the years, and thank you for doing this, and we appreciate that. And if somebody calls us, I might give them your name, okay?
All right. That'll be fine. Thank you.
We'll see you next time.